Okay, this is going to be the first video for the square roots unit and radicals unit. All right, we want to start with our square root. Okay, we always want to check to see if we type our square root in the calculator, do we get a whole number? And if we don't, or an integer, if we don't, we have to proceed with simplifying. Okay, so what I do is I always divide by prime numbers. Okay, my prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, all right, and so on. But start with 2, okay? So I do 250 divided by 2, I get 2 and 125, okay? Now I try to divide 125 by 2, doesn't work. Try to divide by 3, doesn't work. Try to divide by 5, great. 5 and 25, okay? Then I try 25. 25 divided by 2, no. By 3, no. By 5, yes. Okay, so 5 and 5. Now, how do you know when you stop? You know when you stop is when these two numbers here are prime. Then what I do is everything with a double branch, I cross off. Okay? And for square roots, and that's what a square root is, I'm looking for pairs. Okay? So here is a pair of 5s. Okay? So when you look at your radical, the leftovers go in here. You're allowed to take one number out per pair and put it there, okay? So my leftovers here are the 2 and the 5. I'm allowed to take one of these 5s out and it goes here. There's always multiplication. 2 times 5 would be 10. So this would reduce to 5 square root of 10, okay? Now, for 108, okay, do 108 divided by 2. I get 2 and 54. Divide 54 by 2, I get 2 and 27. Divide 27 by 2, doesn't work. 27 divided by 3 works. 3 and 9. 9 divided by 2 doesn't work, but 9 divided by 3 is 3 and 3. Okay? And I'm good because these are both primes. Cross off these ones that have the double branch. I am looking for pairs. Here's a pair of 2s. Here's a pair of 3s. So my leftover here, that leftover would go here. I'm allowed to take one out of each of these. So 2 and a 3. So 2 times 3 would be 6. So this reduced to 6 square root of 3. Okay? Now, if you have a number out front, okay, I'm going to tell you what to do with that in a second. All right? So you should always, I should have done that in the last problem. I always should check to see so it doesn't work out nice. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to break down the 52. 52 divided by 2 is 2 and 26. Okay? 26 divided by 2 is 2 and 13. All right? 13 has a prime number because look, 2 doesn't work, 3 doesn't work, 5 doesn't work, 7, 9, 11. None of those work. So, all right, that's a prime number. Okay, so I can stop right there. Cross off the ones with double branches. Circle my pairs, okay? Now, the leftover still goes inside. I take one of these 2s. I also take the 10 and multiply it. So that's, you always got to take that. That's like a part of your group, okay? So 10 times 2 is 20. So that's going to be 20 square root of 13, okay? Let's go to this one, 9 square root of 24. Now it doesn't work out nice, okay? So try 24 divided by 2. That's 2 and 12. Try 12 divided by 2. 2 and 6. Try 6 divided by 2. 2 and 3. All right? So cross all these off, okay? Looking for pairs. Here's a pair. These are left over. So what would happen there, this would go on the inside. I take this and this. So 9 times 2. Okay, so I got 9 times 2 on the outside, which would be 18. 2 times 3 on the inside, which would be 6. So 18 square root of 6. Okay, so that's breaking down a square root. Okay, all right, so you go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and work on these. Okay, all right, if I try the square root of 300, that doesn't work. So I got to divide 2, that'd be 2 and 150. All right, let's, so 300 divided by 2. 150 divided by 2, 2 and 75. 75 divided by 2 doesn't work. 75 divided by 3 though does. 3, 25. Okay? 25 divided by 2 doesn't work. 25 divided by 3 doesn't work, but 25 divided by 5 does. So 5 and 5. So cross off all the things with double branches. Here's a pair, here's a pair. My only leftover here is 3. I can take 1 out of each of these. So 2 times 5, which would be 10. So that'd be 10 square root of 3. Okay? Let's go to this one, square root of 99. Square root of 99 would be a decimal, so I can't do anything with that there. All right, 99 divided by 2, no. 99 divided by 3, yes, 3 and 33. Okay, 33 divided by 3, I'm sorry, by 2 it doesn't work. Divided by 3 is 3 and 11. And these are prime numbers, so I can cross that out, cross that out. Here's my pair. So outside I got a 3, inside I got an 11. Okay? Remember, you only take 1 item per circled thing. Okay? So I got this 40. I'm going to break down 40. Let's type that in just to double check. That doesn't work. Okay? All right, so 40. All right, 40 divided by 2 is 20, so 2 and 20. 20 divided by 2, 2 and 10. 10 divided by 2, 2 and 5. Okay? Cross off the double branches, circle my pair. My leftovers here are 2 and 5. I can take an 18, I can take a 2. So 18 times 2 on the outside. Okay, so 18 times 2 is 36. 2 times 5 is 10. Okay, going on to this one. All right, going on to this one. I got, I'll type that in as 7 square root of 128. So I got 2, 128 divided by 2, 2 and 64, divided by 64 divided by 2 is 32 and 32, 32 divided by 2 is 2 and 16, lots of 2's here. 16 divided by 2 is 2 and 8, 8 divided by 2 is 2 and 4, and 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 2, okay? So I cross off all the double branches. I'm looking for pairs. Pair of 2's, pair of 2's, pair of 2's. The only thing left over is that 1, 2 that's gonna go on the inside. I can take 1 out of this, 1 out of this, 1 out of this, and the 7. So 7 times 2 times 2 times 2. Use your calculator for that calculation. That gives me 56, so 56 square root of 2, okay? All right, let's go on to the next thing, okay? Now, we're gonna talk about letters. Now, here's what you basically do with the letters, okay? We reduce the number the same, okay? So we simplify the number the same. Nothing different there, okay? With the variables, okay? Since we're working with square roots, we are going to divide the exponent by 2, okay? All right? If you get a decimal, the remainder is 1, and that exponent goes inside. Okay? So when you divide it by 2, whatever number you get out here is the exponent outside. Okay? And I'll explain that in a second. So what I want to do, let's go ahead and handle the 50 just like we normally would. Square root of 50, okay? Doesn't have anything. So that's going to be 2 and 25, and then 5 and 5. Okay? So 50 divided by 2 is 25. That's how I got that. And if I check all the other ones, first one's 5 and 5, and those are prime. Okay? So here's my pair, here's my leftover. Okay? So pair comes out here, I can take 1, leftover. Leave some room for your letters. Okay? Now, what I want to do for I is take 10 and divide it by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So what I would do is I put I to the 5th outside, okay? For j, I have j to the 4. Divide that by 2, okay? 4 divided by 2 would be 2. So that's going to be j to the 2nd, and that ends up being my final answer, okay? It's that simple. It's that simple, okay? Let's break down 54. 54 divided by 2 would be 2 and 27. Okay, 27 divided by 2 I believe does not work. It does not. Do 3, 3 and 9. And obviously I think everybody knows that it would be 3 and 3. Okay, so once again I'm looking for pairs. Here's a pair of 3s. Here is my leftover. Okay, so I got, I can take one of these 3s, put it outside. These 2 and 3 go in here. So I got 3 square root of 6. So I'm going to leave some room here. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to do the exponent of 13 and divide by 2. Now I want to show you what you get. 13 divided by 2. Now notice, if you get a decimal, that means you have a remainder, okay? If you get a decimal, that means you have a remainder. Now, this 6 right here, that's going to be I to the 6th outside. And since I got a decimal, I would have I to the 1 as a remainder, okay? Let's do 10 divided by 2 in our calculator. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So I just have J5. So the I1 needs to go on the inside, okay? All right, and the reason for that, and let me just show you that, let's say I had 13 I's inside my square root. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, okay? If I did the same thing and circled pairs, look, watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And see how there's an I left over there? That's why the I to the 1st, and that's what that is, stays on the inside. How many of these do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why you have I to the 6th out there, okay? So that's the physical reason, or the visual reason why, and then from an algebraic standpoint. Okay, so let's do this one. I got square root of 98. That's 9, so I got to break that down. It's going to be 2. 98 divided by 2 would be 2 and 49. Okay, 49 divided by 2 doesn't work. 49 divided by 3 doesn't work. 49 divided by 5 doesn't work. 49 divided by 7. Yep, so 7 and 7. So that's my prime number. Here's my pair, okay? So on the outside, I would have a 7, my leftover of 2. Now I'm going to do 17 divided by 2, 3 divided by 2, and 11 divided by 2. Let's see what I get. Okay, 17 divided by 2 would be 8 with a decimal. So what does that mean? I8, I1. Okay, let's do 3 divided by 2. That's going to be 1. So I got J1 because I got a decimal. Let's do 11 divided by 2. That is going to be 5. So I got M5, and since it's a decimal, M1. Okay? And that's how easy those are to do. Okay? All right, let's go over square root of 12. Decimal. Okay? 2 and 6. It'll be 2 and 3. Here's my pair. Here's my leftover. So I got 3. And take one of those. I got that. Okay? Now, got to be careful here. What exponent is this? This is a 1. Okay? That is a 1. So what I'm going to do is 18 divided by 2, 21 divided by 2, and 1 divided by 2. Okay? All right, so 18 divided by 2 is just 9. So I just got J9. Nothing on the inside because it's not a decimal. Okay, 21 divided by 2. 10, since it's a decimal, so that should be an I here. Then J10, J1 on the inside. Okay? Then I got 1 divided by 2. Now, when you get 0, that just means that this M to the first, is going to stay on the inside. Okay? Because once again, there's no pair for that. Okay? So this would be my answer here. Okay? So what I would like you guys to do, okay, go ahead and pause your video and go ahead and work on, did I give you 20 on that first one? No, I didn't, okay. All right, go ahead and work on these 4 problems, okay? All right, let's just get this out of the way. We'll type this square root of 20, doesn't have it, okay? So divide by 2, I get 2 and 10. Divide by 10, or divide by 2 again, I get 2 and 5. Okay, double branch, cross off, pair. Okay, leftover goes inside, one of these comes outside. I'm going to divide 26 by 2, and I'm going to divide 9 by 2. Okay, 26 divided by 2 is just 13. So I got I13 out here, nothing on the inside. 9 divided by 2 would be 4. Okay, and since it has a decimal, I would just put the 1 for J in there. Okay, so that'd be my answer for that question. Okay, square root of 72, decimal, 2 and 36, that would be 2 and 18. It would end up being 2 and 9, and then it would be 3 and 3. Okay, here's a pair, here's a pair. Okay, so what do I have? I have a leftover of 2. I'm allowed to take one of these and one of these. So 2 times 3, so I got 6, square root of 2. I'm gonna leave room for my letters, okay? So I wanna do 3 divided by 2, and I wanna do 11 divided by 2, okay? 3 divided by 2 is 1 with a decimal, so that's I1, I1, okay? 11 divided by 2 is 5. So I'd have J5 and J1 because it has a decimal, okay? And that would be my answer for that one. 63, let's do that. Square root of 63 is a decimal. All right, 63 divided by 2 does not work, okay? All right, 63 divided by 3 does. 3 and 21. 21 divided by 2 doesn't work, but 21 divided by 3 does. 3 and 7, okay? So double branch, that's because that's a prime, okay? So what I got is my pair of 3 goes out here, my leftover there goes inside. Be careful, this is gonna be a J1. So I do 40 divided by 2, 1 divided by 2, and 16 divided by 2, okay? 40 divided by 2 would be 20, so I20, okay? Note nothing else in there. Now the 1 divided by 2 is a 0, so I'm not gonna put that outside. I am gonna put a J1 on the inside. Then I got 16 divided by 2 is going to be 8, okay? So M8, okay? Nothing on the inside because there was no decimal, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and put that 1 right there, all right? Try the square root of 48. Not good. 48 divided by 2, 2 and 24. 24 divided by 2, 2 and 12. 12 divided by 2, 2 and 6. 6 divided by 2 is 2 and 3. Cross off, cross off, cross off, cross off. Okay? Now, what I got here is I got a pair of 2s. Pair of 2s, left over is 3. So on the inside I have that. I'm allowed to take 1 from each of these. So I got 4 square root of 3. Okay? And now I just got to divide all these. 27 over 2, 4 over 2, and 1 over 2. Okay? 27 divided by 2 gives me 13. So I got I13. Now, since I got a decimal, I got to put an I to the first on the inside. Okay? 4 divided by 2 is just 2, so that's going to be J2 on the inside. And then the last one would just be 1 divided by 2, and it's a pure decimal. Okay, it has that 0. Okay, remember anything to the 1 is just going to stay inside. Okay, so that's the first video on reducing square roots.